So let's get started. Yeah, Kasturi, we can get started. We can go to the next slide. So if you see an overview of Grafana, what it is, Grafana, it is nothing but a database analysis and monitoring tool. It is mainly used for visualization purpose, and that is an analytics software as well. And here in Grafana, we can able to visualize the matrices that are very much important to our application in production time. And we can also, based on the key matrices visualization, we can set up our alert messages as we meet up the thresholds, and in that way we could be in a better position to avoid the possible risk errors and understand our matrices more. And it does not matter, like we can able to get our matrices from many database sources, like we can get it from SQL Server, Prometheus, and Graphite, or AWS CloudWatch. So these are all the data sources supported in Grafana. And as you see, another utmost important feature for Grafana is that it supports multiple panels on a single grid, and we can expect the result of different multiple sources coming grouping together into a single grid, and we can all together we can monitor they monitor their performance in one single screen. And that is one important feature for Grafana visualization. And yeah, it supports it is used majorly by DevOps team, so that it makes their job easier to find their abnormalities or spikes in the production environment by observing the logs generated. So Grafana was first released in the year 2014, and now it has the ability to connect with multiple data sources, like I said before. And the primary common usage for this tool is time series data visualization, which depicts the health and usage of a resource over a period of time. And this Grafana dashboard can be deployed on premises as well as the cloud if required. Yeah, so over to you, Kasturi, for explaining the features of Grafana.
Thank you, Balaji. So here we have listed a few important features among many of Grafana. One of the important feature is visualization. Like Grafana has a lot of visualization options to help you understand your data. Like it ranges from graphs to histograms, anything that suits our use cases. And with respect to alerts, like Grafana lets you define thresholds visually and get notified via any communication channels like Slack. And we can bring our data from multiple data sources into the dashboard for visualization. We can bring our data together to get like better context. Grafana is an open source. It's completely open source. You can use either Grafana Cloud or you can install it in your local. You can maintain logs in Grafana, like you using label filters. We can quickly filter and search through the list of logs. We can visualize data with a templated or a custom reports, and we can even share our reports with the customers and stakeholders. And one of the key feature of Grafana is like we can annotate events. Like when things go bad, it often helps to understand the context in which the failure occurred. Like for example, time of lost deploy or system changes or database migration. All these insights can be displayed in the dashboard when things go wrong. And we can have authentication features to our dashboard, like it supports like several variety of authentication. And moving forward, like most of the visualization platforms are built around two core functions that help companies or organizations answer two questions about users or the events. One is like tracking data, and another one is analyzing the data. Tracking data is nothing but like capturing the visits, events, or monitoring actions through logs, and analyzing data is nothing but visualizing the data through dashboards and reports. With data being tracked, captured, and organized, companies are free to analyze like what actions are users taking on a device or a network, and a typical behavior flow that user takes through the network. Usually when a user wants to use Grafana, it's like very simple, user friendly way. They can just directly log into Grafana and they can add the data source that they want to get the data from. They can easily explore the available metrics. They have options to explore the logs, and they can build dashboards in the Grafana. Like there are options to create panels, different panels, and we can have different queries in different panels, so we can have multiple use cases explained in a single dashboard via different panels. As I said before, there is an option to annotate events also, and we can set up alert and configure alert rules. uh, there are many use cases that can be that are noticeable. One of the famous is like Stack Overflow uses Grafana to enable their developers and reliability teams create tailored dashboards to visualize the data and optimize their server performance. uh, One of the other one is DigitalOcean, which uses Grafana to share visualization data between their teams and have in place a common visualization data platform. Usually, businesses use Grafana to track their infrastructure and log analytics, and to improve their operational performance. These dashboards facilitate the monitoring of users and events by like automating the collection, management, and displacement of data. These informations that the dashboard displays can be used by product managers or any high level in the organization. Over to biology.
Yeah. So on comparing the Grafana and Splunk, more or less the Grafana and the Splunk serve the same purpose, but it has some slight difference in choosing whether to go with Grafana or Splunk based on certain use cases and based on their purpose. So we can go out one by one with their usage, data sources, and how it was visualized, reporting, and alerting. So the difference in usage is that Grafana is primarily used for visualization, as I said, for time series database. But for Splunk, it is like at most using it in large volume of data and indexing the data. In the sense, the retrieval of data will be much more faster, no matter what amount of data we are searching through it. So that is the key advantage in Splunk. And coming to the data source, Grafana is compatible with only few of the data sources like Graphite, Prometheus, and Influx DB. But Splunk, on the other hand, has the advantage to be compatible with at most every component. It can get the data like either the IoT sensors or the mobile phones, or from logs from the servers, or from an applications. So it can collect data from anywhere, and it can visualize, and it can index the data. So visualization coming to picture in Grafana, we have a wide range of option in visualization panels, like I said before. But in Splunk, it has lesser option when compared to Grafana. And in reporting, it does not provide the free open source version, and the free does not permit reporting. But in Grafana, it is always the premium which provides the reporting purpose. But here in Splunk, we have an option to provide our reports to our recipients at any interval. And coming to alerting the messages, it is not supported for all data sources, but it is used for only certain systems like Slack and webhook events and email notifications. But in Splunk, we have a wide range of notification types. And overall, if you see the difference, is Splunk is used for large volume of data, and that is more or less in production time. We will use Splunk for logs, to analyze logs and spot out the errors. And yeah, so that's the key advantage between Splunk and Grafana. So going back to the next slide, that is Grafana, which is the Tableau. Tableau, as we all know, like we in many companies, we are using Tableau to visualize their data in bar charts, different pie charts, and they have an option to box plot, everything you can do. But Grafana fits better if you need if you are ad hoc, on ad hoc basis, you need to visualize the data by providing queries. Then you can go with the Grafana, and it also provides the alerts. It provides an high expectation of alerts, and it is well compatible with this Prometheus or Graphite databases. These are two time series database monitoring tool again. So that's why Grafana comes into picture. So we can move forward with the demo if there is no any questions. So, okay, let me move forward with the Grafana demo. This is just a small demo because I couldn't able to set up the Grafana tool and provide you then the software itself. But however, these pictures will be more helpful for us to understand how it works. So let me take up a real-time example. So I'm going to simulate data in SQL Server. Just that I have created a table in SQL, and I have written a procedure SQL to insert the data into that particular table every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, consider this particular table will get this much of data, like temperature and humidity every 5 minutes or every 2 3 every 5 minutes we will get the data entered into this particular table. And now we have set up the real time, we have simulated the real time data. So now let's see how we visualize this particular table in Grafana. This is basically from time to time the records get added. So let's go and see in Grafana how we visualize the data. So Grafana, from here we could able to download the Grafana tool, and it is open source. We have hosted Grafana also, but that is you have to pay. But this one it is fully open source. So on opening the Grafana, you see this as a home page where you see the add data source, right? The second panel which you are seeing, that one, if you click on that one, it could be provided the opportunity to add your data sources. Kasturi, can you come down? Yeah. So if you click on that one, it will ask for the options to add the data sources. So Kasturi, can you come down? So now if suppose our table was in Microsoft SQL Server, which is where I have created the Grafana table, a sample table. So I might have select this particular SQL server, and I will provide all the details of username, password, and connect to that database. Come down, Kasturi. Yeah, providing the host name and the username, password, I could be able to connect to this SQL server. Once the connection to the data source is made, I can come up to the home page, and you see this plus mark over here. Now we are all good, and we can set up the actual dashboard, and we can click on this dashboard, and we will be provided this option of to add the panels. Like I said before, Grafana provides a wide variety of panels. Panel in the sense like more of templates. It supports many type of templates. And here I have selected one such template. That is the below one. Can you come down, Kasturi? Yeah, this is one panel which I have selected. Although this is the spikes you see over here is dummy data. It is just the dummy data. We haven't connected to data sources yet. We just selected our panels, and now we will connect to our data sources, like which was marked above. After we connect to the data source to our panel, our actual data will get into this particular panel. And we are also given the privilege to write queries in the query editor. In the query editor, we can fetch the humidity or temperature, like I said, the matrices, important matrices, so we can able to mention it in the query editor, and we can also set up a threshold. I think you won't be able to see here on the right side. So can you come down, Kasturi? I think it's in the next. Yeah, here you could see the maximal minimum interval time. Like for every 10 seconds, this dashboard with this template will be refreshed, and the query which and the query which will fetch the data above in the panel is the below query. You can have your own query of your choice. I have given one sample query to fetch the data, and yeah, this is the thing. So that's it. We get the data every 10 seconds, and we can also alter the refresh time to 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That depends upon our use case. And this is the panel. Overall, the panel, whatever the graphs and panel lists, whichever the Grafana is supporting, we can have it. We can have more than one panels in one grid. As I showed you, we can have the graph editor, or we can have a table view, or we can have the bar graph, or we can have a speedometer like God's. So any kind of representation is we can do. We can also have the same thing. We can have graph editor to another database, and we can have God's visualization panels to other data sources. So likewise, it will be having 4 panels which will be connected to 4 different data sources, will be put together in one single screen. That will be a single grid, and in that way we are provided more opportunity to flexibly monitor the application, and this is more suitable for DevOps team. And if there was any huge spike in the graph editor, they can able to provide a threshold in it, and they can notify the recipients through mail, and developers can work on the productional defects before in hand. And yeah, it will be, instead of waiting for one day, it is like in real time we can able to maintain our systems more properly. So yeah, that's it. That is a small demo. So yeah, and yeah, so in my opinion, it was a great tool to get started with the monitoring live resources from production environment, as this Grafana was a free of cost tool and it was also easy to use. It is just that we need to know some basic knowledge of SQL and we need to set up refresh schedules. So that way we could easily monitor our applications using Grafana. So any questions? So we are done with this demo. Okay then. Kasturi, do you want to say anything?
That's all from my end also, Balaji. If you have any questions, please let us know. If at all anyone wants to work on this and if you have any queries also, you can reach out to us in future. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you both.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.